Hey, good afternoon, my Stampin' friends. This is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in San Diego, California, and I know you all must get sick of my weather reports, but today it's overcast and drizzly, and I'm kind of cool for right now, like in low 60s. Although I've heard in other parts of the country they're having a heat spell, but not here. So today I jumped on the craze of coloring with our vellum, on vellum with our stamping blends, because I tried it the other day and it was so much fun. I figured you guys might enjoy doing this. I like kind of new techniques and such, and so I thought that would be kind of a fun one to see if I could do it. Oh, you want to see my new buddy too? We'll see if he'll come here. We're babysitting my granddog. Come here, Kodak. He thinks I'm playing games. Come here. You wanna come up? Okay, forget it. Go away then. He's an adorable little 4-year-old, I guess now, mostly boxer, but I guess he's camera shy, so maybe next time. Hi, Vicky. Glad you're watching. So a couple things just bringing you up to date. We have our last chance products. I think I talked about this last week, but it's, while supplies last, for things in the January through June mini catalog that aren't carrying over. So if there's something you really, really want, you should be thinking about it now. And there are some things that are 50% off. Also, I'm moving my June class. If anybody's in the area, June 27th, I'm having a class with the pansies. If you go back, probably over a month, maybe even a month and a half ago, I did one of these lives on the new pansy set, and so I'm going to do a class with 4 pansy things. If you're interested, let me know. Last chance for June paper pumpkin closes on the 10th. Where it's all about the expressions in ink, which is another thing that motivated me to do this, because those are kind of those papers for expressions in ink are modeled after using the vellum like we're going to do it today. So if you're interested in that June paper pumpkin, you've got to get that in by the 10th. And then the other thing that goes away, I believe it's the 14th is the last day of June, is for every $250 you order, you get an extra $25 in free rewards. So if you've got some friends, you put together an order and get some extra rewards. And then the last thing is the kits. The kits in the past, if you looked at the front of the annual catalog, you'd see a bunch of kits, and you don't see that now because they're trying something new where they're just going to have kits online on StampinUp.com. And they're going to rotate through a lot of different kits. So I'm going to turn you down and show you the kit that I got, just kind of for a sample, so that we can talk about it. Ow. It's kind of dark here too, so I have an extra light on. But this is how the kits come, kind of like a paper pumpkin kit, and everything you need is in it. Some of the kits are like this, where these are the directions, and you've got each of 3 different cards, and everything you need down to the, if you need dimensionals, or these are like little kind of glue dotty things and some bling, it's all in here. This one's only $12 to make 9 cards, and I haven't put it together yet, but isn't that gorgeous? Oh, kind of looks like what we're making today. And really beautiful envelopes in this one. And there's no stamping in this one. You see, they actually have it in multiple languages because Stampin' Up is in multiple places, and you're just going to put on your sentiment that way. But there are a lot of other kits that come, oops, I think I'm too far back. Just noticed that. Is that a little better? There are other kits that come with a little ink spot and a block if you need it. And so it really is everything that you need. So really, especially if you're a beginner stamper, think about getting one of our kits. So this is the card we're going to make. So this is also in honor of Pride Month, because June is Pride Month, so I thought it'd be nice to do something related to that. And this is actually vellum that I colored on and then just mounted on a regular card base. So let me show you another couple. This is obviously a rainbow one. This one I just used some blues and greens and a little bit of yellow because I don't tell him I wanted to make my husband a Father's Day card. And then this is one that I made. I just had a little piece of leftover vellum. And so I just wanted to try it, so I added it to the colors and contour set. So you'll notice this one is mounted on white. This one's mounted on white. This one is actually mounted right on the Pacific points. You can see it just brings out the blues a little bit more. All right, so let's get started with this. These are the Playful Alphabet, which are really, really fun to use. And you can obviously make any word you want that I used for the letters. Now, I'll show you in a little bit, but I used our little foam strips for my adhesive. If I had thought enough ahead, I really need to buy, it would work much better if you had the foam sheets, and then you could actually cut the letters out already. You know, you stick the foam sheet to the cardstock, and then you cut the letters out with the foam sheet, so that's much easier, and I'll show you why this is going to take a little time to do. But let's get started with the fun stuff. So this is just a piece of our regular vellum, and it's cut 4 by 5 1/4. And all I'm going to do is basically take my markers and squish them on here and make a rainbow. So this is Dark Poppy Parade. I'm going all the way to the edge because I really want a lot of color here. And then this is Dark Calypso Coral, and I want you to notice that the word dark, which is intentional, because I really did notice if you did it with anything light, it did not work so well because the alcohol kind of washes it out a little bit. This is the Dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm laying down a fair amount of color everywhere because it needs it. And I'm going all the way up to the edge. On the other one I actually wasn't sure about it, so I made my vellum a little bigger and then cut it down. But this one I figured, well, I've done this before, hopefully this will work. If not, as I tell everybody in my classes, it's just paper and ink. You can always do it again. Oh, that was Dark Shaded Spruce. This is Dark Night of Navy. And you can kind of, in fact, I'll show you on another one. I'll just do a second example after we do this one. So you kind of have to let it dry. This is supposed to be Dark Blackberry Bliss, but it's not showing up so dark. So let's try adding some Rich Razzleberry. Yeah, that's not any more purpley. Maybe some Dark Highland Heather. We'll see if that gets a little, you know, these are all going to blend together, so it's not going to matter so much. Now we want to let it dry just a little bit. The other thing, in fact, let's just do another one. So this, I wanted the rainbow effect, but the other thing that's kind of fun is to just do some random scribbles of a few different colors. So we got the Highland Heather. What else do we want to use? Maybe let's use a little Just Jade. Is that what no, Dark Succulent. There is no pattern here. I'm just trying to get a bunch of colors on here. And maybe we'll go with some of the peach or the pale papaya. Let's try that. Whoops. Oh, I'm always using the brushy end. So this is going to be a paler looking one, obviously. And then let's get the yellow back. Or is that going to be too pale? And the only reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to give this enough time for both of these to dry. All right. So let's go back to our rainbow one that's now dry. So I have one of our old water painters, and can't see it. Can you see it now, Vicki? You should be able to see it. Hi, Janet. So this is one of our old water pens. Obviously, you know, the new ones are going to work the same. And I like to just get a drop, a drop, a drop, a drop, a drop. And kind of watch what it's going to do. And see how it spreads out. The one thing that I noticed when I was doing it, when it didn't look good, is because I put too much on. So now I put a little on and then wait. And you can also kind of either, I'm going to blow on it. Well, that didn't work so well. Or you can move it around like that to get them to swirl together a little bit more. Now, I think actually I'm going to let it dry and then see if I want some more. And then the other thing is, isn't that a cool effect? See what I mean about too much is just get a little blotting it up around the edges. And it will often curl up, but that's okay because we're going to glue it on the back and it's going to be okay. Oh, geez. Okay, this is an old one and it's a little broken here, so I need to be a little bit more careful with what I'm doing so I don't have alcohol everywhere. And again, that's just regular old isopropyl alcohol. So let's move that out of the way and let it dry. And then let's try the other one. Let's hope that I can do it without. I find I get the best stuff is if I put my drop kind of near where the edges of the two colors are meeting so that they can kind of blend together a little bit. Now see how this one is starting to curl up a little bit? One thing I did before that seemed to be helpful is you can just put a piece of tape underneath and get it to kind of attach to the tape. And that'll hold it down a little bit. Look at this one go. I haven't even blown at it or touched it or anything. See, now I ended up with too much alcohol on this one, but I still think, whoops, I still think it's gonna be pretty. It's just not going to be as bubbly defined as my other one, but I still like it. And this one, so you can see the areas where I got a little too much alcohol and why you tend to, you know, want to use brighter colors on here so that they don't get completely washed out. But it's just a lovely background. I'm just going to move this one because we're not going to use that today. That was my little extra. I just want him out of the way so it can dry. So this one is almost dry. Just a little bit around the edge. Okay, so let's just show you what I did with all these letters. I decided I was going to cut them all out before my little live, because I didn't think you wanted to sit here and watch me glue on all this stuff. So this is what I'm using, the little foam strips. And you can see they're very long strips. And so what I do is I always have this extra pair of little scissors, and I come on in and I cut these little pieces that are going to be more useful to me in what I'm doing. So see how that's now a little piece? I left a couple just to show you because they're just barely the right size for these, and stick them on. See? And let's do a V. Whoops. And some I cut a little thinner, or a little shorter rather. So can you see that? And then the other thing is, I wanted to show you, so this is what happens when you're trying to go around a circle. That's my O. These do bend a little, but I'm finding these little teeny pieces don't so much. So I just put them on like this, and then I trim them down, trying not to cut my letter here, but that seems to work pretty well. But now you see what I mean by if you had the whole sheet that you were doing, and we'll do that some other time because now I know I really need those sheets for these letters. This is the first time I've used my little Playful Alphabet, and so I didn't really know what I was going to need or not for it. All right, so this is going to be our card. It's just a regular card base. I like to use the thick Whisper White or basic white now, because I think it just makes a nicer card. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half. And then I guess we can do this now. I don't know if I showed you, but the little hearts are actually from this die because it was what I could find, which is an older set. Sorry, it's retired. It's the Be Mine stitched framelits. And then I used a little piece of it inside like that because I just thought it was so cute. And honestly, the reason it's this big is because that's kind of the size that I just used a little scrap. So we're going to take our little baby embossing machine. I'm sorry if it's partially off, but I'm trying not to sit on top of there. If you hear a little crinkling in the background, that's that cute little dog that doesn't want to be on camera. He's a little camera shy. And so all I want to do is use this little piece of this so I can use the little outline as well as the little hearts. It doesn't like the fact that I put it on the edge like that, I think. Oh, see how it's even? Doesn't like being even. Move it back a little bit. Then watch, it'll feed better, I hope. How come when I'm on camera this never works right? Fine, we'll cut your whole thing out and make you happy. I will have hearts forever now. There we go. Really did like to use the whole thing. I think this little baby one is a little bit more of a stickler for getting the plates in right. I just want to show you it works best to have it like that so that they aren't right even like you would normally do on your Big Shot or your large machine. So remember I said I'm going to have hearts forever. So that's one of the cool things about this this little die is sometimes we're using it just for the outline, but I figured most of you have some sort of little hearts like these to use. Sometimes I'll also use the little dog punch. The doggy has a heart. And I'm guessing we'll get more hearts come, you know, next January through June, little mini catalog. Okay, so now we got our hearts. Now, as you can see, this is going to be really hard to work with. Usually when we're making something, we will put all this stuff on, but I don't want to have to be playing with this the whole time. So let's talk about gluing it down. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to show you. If you didn't like how vibrant this is, if you turn it upside down, not quite so bright. Let's do it that way this time. Do you guys like it that way? Vicky, it's alcohol in there, not water. It's alcohol. That's why it dries so fast. Let's do it this way. It's just a little more subtle. So, you know, part of the gluing it down, why I'm not using tape or anything else, is because I got to get rid of this, how it's folding up like this. So I find the best way is to take my silicone mat, put a big old glob of glue. Did take quite a bit. This is just a little chunk of one of our now retired little sponges, and like I said, I'm going to do it this way. So this is the leftover glue. I also left it here to show you what happens is once it's dry, look at that, you can just get all the glue off. So you can just keep using this and it doesn't get icky or whatever. You can use it for whatever you want. Isn't that cool? All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of glue. And obviously, when I use this little thing, it stays my little glue thing. It just, you know, it dries and it's sticky and it's kind of tacky and gross, but it doesn't really matter because that's all I use it for. And I'm just getting the thinnest layer on here. And part of the reason, the other reason that I'm doing it with this, you know, number one, it needs to all be flattened out, but number two, this dries clear and you don't see it. And sometimes when you use something else on the vellum, it doesn't dry clear and you can see whatever you used. Plus, as you know, you can move this around a little bit if it doesn't seem quite straight, but you know, remarkably, isn't that nice? Because it doesn't, it's now got this all glued down where it was, sorry, those little pieces are getting on my thing. Little dried glue on here, get it off. Another thing, I don't know why we don't sell these anymore, but I heard rumors they may be bringing them back, these little glue removers or tape removers, whichever you're gonna use. So let's set this all up. Now, you know, you guys, I have to work upside down most of the time when I'm doing this for you to be able to see it correctly. But I'm gonna have to turn it right side up, I think, for me to be able to do this properly and put them on. But I'll just set them here and then I'll turn it over and work on it. And one of the reasons I decided to make it like this in terms of how I was going to orient the letters is I realized if I made them kind of in a circle like this instead of straight, that I wouldn't have to worry about how straight they were. See how this one is sticking out, that white stuff? Just trim it off. Now I don't have to see it. All right, so bear with me for a second. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to actually line it up here. So I know that this is 5.5, so 2 3/4 is half of that. So 1, 2, and 3/4 is right here. That's kind of our midline. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2, 2 and about 1/8 is our center. So just to try to center, and what I did before is I tend to work from the middle out, and because I'm notoriously bad with being able to get things even semi-straight. So all I have to do is put these 2 letters on here straight. Now I've got my midline, taking the back off of all this sticky stuff. Again, trying to hit the midline there. Working from the center out. And I'm really not too worried about things being straight, not straight, etc. Let's angle that up a little bit more. I'm just trying to make it cute and happy. I wanted a happy card. My little puppy friend is lying in here, but I think he's saying no to being on camera today. I don't know what my hubby did while I was gone with him. Oh, he did tell me he was running all over the backyard, going crazy. My son is off out of the country, and there he lives near the beach, which means he doesn't have a big yard, so he just loves playing around our big yard. Cute, huh? So let's, oops, how did I get a thing full of glue right there? Well, we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to take a couple of these little glue, and there are various sizes of little hearts on here, but obviously it just depends what you have around. And then I was going to take just a little bit of this one. Where'd my scissors go? I got hearts everywhere now. And because I think this is just going to be, you know, too much to put on there. So we'll just take part of it. Save the other part for something else. And again, I'm going to bring back in my little mat, because this is perfect also for these little ones, because you get just the tiniest amount of glue, but our glue is so good that it's going to just stick to everything. But you don't get the glue that squishes out and makes everything sticky on the other side. So if I wasn't careful, I got a little bit on this side. But now I've got my cute little hearts on the inside and not a lot of glue. It feels pretty good. I think I got one little spot sticking out. So there we have it. I'm going to bring back the other one just so that you can see the difference. Can you tell the difference between this is the front that I colored on, and this is actually the back I turned it over? I probably used a little bit more. Every time I do it, I end up using just a little bit more blends on here because you got to get them kind of dark to make it work. And then I'll bring in the other ones that I had made before. I try not to get in that little glue glob over here. But there we go. So you can use it. This was actually just using all the brand new in colors. And you know, I can think of a whole ton of things just to, like I did here, just put I made this fairly plain because my husband's always saying guy cards don't have a lot of bling or ribbon or whatever else. But you know, you can put anything you want, even just a little sentiment, maybe some little flowers, maybe a butterfly would be really cute on here or on that one. So what do you think, guys? Hey, Jody, you're on. So we've been blending today using our blends and using our just aqua painter. I've seen other people just put, like, even with a dropper, putting the alcohol on. As you can tell, it dries really, really fast. And using whatever colors you want. Use your favorite colors, see what works. And trying not to use too much alcohol. Like, see here where it just kind of faded out. I think I kind of like this look better, where, you know, it looks more like little circles. And if you don't like it, you just put a little and then come back to it is another thing to do. So, oh, you want to see the other one too that we started with that I don't have a card for yet? Again, that was too much. One thing I haven't tried yet, let's try it while you guys are on and see what happens. If you say, I want to redo, there's not enough color right here where this purple is. Let's see if you can do a redo and what happens to a redo. Or if it just saturates it too much and isn't happy. Looks like you can do a redo. If you end up saying this is not enough, I need some more color on here. Because it's just alcohol, it will dry. But again, I think I used too much. This thing is leaking a little bit. I think it's time to toss it. But see how now we have more color in those areas that weren't so colored. So might just do a redo on here and get a little more color in there, because I think it ran just a little too much. But if I get it to work, I'm going to put you guys back up here. If I get it to work, I'll make it into a card and you guys can see what comes of it. And I'll stick it on my website, on my blog. Obviously you found my Facebook page, but the blog is Stamp with Dr. Robin, all smushed together, no caps or anything needed, at blogspot.com. And so I will not be on here next Monday because I'm going up to visit my folks again. They're in their late 80s and having their issues. So I'll let you know if I can be on later in the week, but most likely I'll see you 2 weeks from today. So have a great day and give this a try. All you need is vellum and a few blends and a little alcohol. So take care. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.